Misfit Nation.
Crishaun the Don. The Don. Crishaun the Don. Crishaun the Don. The Don. D-O-N, right? Crishaun the Don.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am here. Welcome to the live stream. See the beautiful beaches of Fort Lauderdale there. I am here with a guest. I'll get to him in a second. You see him on the screen there. You know the deal. We're going to be talking about some wrestling stuff, but you know the deal, guys, on this channel. We gotta go to the backup channel. So everybody that's on the main channel, please go to the backup channel right now. The link is in the description. We're gonna be talking about the CM Punk thing, the Kenny Omega thing, all that stuff. How AEW's just become in weird grooming territory. Let's just put it that way. But anyway, I see one person on the main channel. We're about to go over to the backup channel. So go over to the backup, guys. Link in the description. Leave a like on the way out. But let me introduce my guest, the guy who actually intrigued me. And actually, we met. I said this last night, but we met on the battlefield. That is Twitter. We were in the middle of some kind of argument. We were both kind of like, I think we defended each other at one point, but, you know, we kind of kicked it off. And then I reached out, got him on the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Crossman Wrestling. How are you, sir?
Yo. I'm a little bit better today because some news broke from our government, which states that kids can't change gender at school unless they've got the parents' permission. So we're getting somewhere.
Nice. That's
How are you?
And where are you from?
Lincolnshire in England.
Oh, no kidding.
It's I like this mostly farm. But you got a couple of cities like Lincoln and Grimsby, but where I am, we're basically in a small town that's surrounded by farmland.
Gotcha. Interesting. And so like you do a wrestling channel. And what caught my eye with your wrestling content was that you kind of slip in, you know, your political views, and it was good. It was refreshing actually to hear somebody who had like similar political views to me actually doing wrestling content, because it's like it's really hard to find that in the wrestling world for some reason. A lot of liberals, a lot of libs.
Yeah, I know they all trying to be politically neutral because they don't want, because quite a lot of them are successful. They don't want the iron whip of YouTube to fuck them over. So I don't understand a couple of them just focusing on the wrestling and that's it. But then you get some really annoying motherfuckers like JD and Just Alex and they just yeah are really annoying.
They're just they come off as like completely oblivious to what's going on in the world. Yeah. And maybe that's by design. Who knows? Maybe they want to do that, but then you hear them interject their little political views in there a lot of the time. So it's like for instance, if a wrestler gets in trouble for saying something homophobic or construed as racism, they
go down hard on him.
They go right with the narrative. There's no questioning it. There's no what is racism conversation even. It's just it's ridiculous. Well, look, let's cut off of the main channel so that we can actually talk here.
Yeah, man.
So everybody on the main channel, go over right now to the backup. And boom. All right, cool. So well, I saw your take on the CM Punk thing. I'll be honest, I got really pissed off when I saw the Kenny Omega thing back in the day. I actually got into it. That's actually how I think we met, is we were arguing under that post.
I know we met something to do with wrestling and wokeness, but I can't remember because I've been involved in so many Twitter arguments with so many fucking idiots.
Yes, I see you really get in the mix with them. You gotten blocked by
Yeah.
a lot of them. Like you really, we can touch on that too. But yeah, long story short, I'm pretty sure we met on that post, where I called Kenny Omega a fag. And I was like, he's a groomer, you know? And they all got on me and they're like, I'm like showing them pictures of like, here, this is what they're doing to kids. This is what they're showing to kids. And they just don't want to see it. It was alarming to me. But long story short, CM Punk, I'll show the picture on the screen here. CM Punk held up this sign after AEW Collision. And I believe it said support trans youth.
Support LGBTQ plus youth is what the sign said.
Gotcha.
Unfortunately.
I'll put it up on the sign. Now I've turned against CM Punk just on the basis of sucking on his return. So I'd like to get into that with you too, but let's talk about this first. So he holds up this sign, and it caused a stir. Definitely just kind of online and with guys like us. So give me your take and then I'll kind of jump in.
Well, I don't actually believe that he does support what he's saying he supports. All he's doing is trying to get clout and some good publicity. He's like with FTR. They don't actually care. They just want to get some good publicity and say, I support this current thing, which is what most of them do anyway.
Right. Well, I let me get your take because all my people know my take on it. But what's your take on the entire thing of trans youth and all that nonsense?
So, as I stated in my video, there are some genuine people, maybe they're youth, maybe they're older, who do have the gender dysphoria, as it's called. And those people do need some psychological help. But as for things like, queer, non-binary, and the one that really pisses me off the most, furries. I hate furries. They're just all fucking weird, and they just want to, I don't know, try and be part of the current thing without thinking of the ramifications of that current thing.
All right, well, let's start at the very basis, just because we've never talked before. How many genders are there?
Well, there are two biological sexes, male and female. Gender is a construct of your personality and genetics based on your biological sex. So there's masculine, feminine, and neutral. And by neutral, I don't mean non-binary. I mean a man that isn't masculine and a woman that isn't feminine.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because everyone's getting the word gender confused with biological sex. But as I've learned over the current weeks, that isn't the case at all. It's just a man that might be masculine or not masculine, and so on.
Well, it's kind of like either they mean the same thing or they've redefined what the term means, right?
Yeah, because obviously when you sign up for, I don't know, an email account or something, it'd ask gender and it'd say male or female. So I think it's all sort of changed thanks to them, because back in the day, sex, gender, it was just whatever, we don't care. But thanks to them, it's had to all change, and it's just really annoying.
Gotcha. So you think now, let's just take it back to CM Punk. So you're thinking that CM Punk doesn't actually know what he's holding up when he's holding up the sign? Like Kenny Omega, all of them. Do you think they know what that actually means?
I don't think they're 100% oblivious to it, but that they are doing it simply just to get some good publicity. Because didn't Kenny do it on camera?
Did he do it? Sorry, say that again.
Did Kenny do it on camera? Was it on TV, or was it during a break?
From what I know, is he was just. I saw a picture. I never really saw it on TV. However, I have seen a lot of AEW guys, or a couple of them, CM Punk, even Daniel Bryan at times. They wear a lot of like T-shirts that have political slogans and messages on them.
Yeah, I've seen what CM Punk did. It was last year
On abortion, I think it was.
Yeah,
Right.
but yeah, I don't think they know that children are being like pumped with chemical castration drugs. I think they're just doing it so they can get some good publicity. Say I support this current thing, and they think everyone's going to go, yeah, this guy's great. He supports this current thing.
It's a big virtue signal. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It does it. It's like, well, let me show you this tweet. Well, I'll read it because I don't think you'll be able to see it. But Evil Uno from the Dark Order posts this. Since we are doing this all over again, fuck sexists, fuck racists, fuck homophobes, fuck transphobes, fuck bigots. Evil Uno supports you. So now I could see that being more of what you're saying in terms of like he's just doing that for publicity or doing that for clout, where he's not really going in depth on ideology or anything. He's just saying fuck these people. It's like that's where I get that from. I don't know. I'd like to think that CM Punk and all these people are smarter than we're giving them credit for, but maybe they're not. Maybe they're just idiots. They don't actually do the research that we do.
Yeah, I think that is really stupid. And when you do try and because it was Cash Wheeler. He was on Twitter a few months ago calling people bigots and whatnot. And I said to him, bro, just do some research. I mean, I'm a fan of FTR. I mean, just respectfully, just go and do some actual research. And I don't think he got back to me. And then a couple of hours later, I saw that, and anyone who is homophobic isn't a fan of mine.
Yeah, right. It's like, okay, we're just now you're kind of like classifying people.
Yeah,
based on what they think. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I don't understand how like a lot of these people. I guess it's kind of like the Bud Light thing, where they're seeing it as a strong stance now to go against, like, to almost take on the boycotting. You know what I mean? Like they're being martyrs now.
Yeah, they went against the fan base, so this is like everything else is doing. You go against your fan base, try and make a new audience of modern audience, and that modern audience doesn't actually buy your product.
Yeah. Now, do you think this is affecting AEW at all? Like, because I mean, I don't know how much more it could, because they're not actually like selling a lot of tickets, but
there's a lot of wrestling fans that aren't awake to it, especially AEW fans that they are virtue signalers. So I don't think the CM Punk and the virtue signaling is going to affect their ratings in any way. But what bad television is, and it's always bad.
Right.
Always.
It just affects it. It affects it to the fan base of like the conservatives, really, and that just depends on how many conservatives are actually watching AEW, or actually how many refuse to watch it because of that.
The Young Bucks, they're conservative, aren't they? And they're EVPs. They're full-on Christians.
Right. I also
Young Bucks.
I also kind of wanted to put this point out there, is there's a lot of people who are putting this thing out like that. We're only believing this because we're following some kind of Republican propaganda. And I said this in a comment. The Republicans are actually following the blue collar conservatives right now. This is like the first time they've done that, where we forced them to actually address this issue. You know what I mean? I don't think if the blue collar people were actually speaking up about it, I don't think there'd be a lot of politicians speaking about it. Republicans, even.
Yeah, well, obviously our politics works different over here. We have Obviously, we don't have Republican. We have the Tory party, which are conservatives, and
True.
then we have UKIP, which are a bit more far to the right, but they're not very successful. But the Tory party, they're the ones that they've banned the chemical castration drugs. So they've been banned because there's not enough research to actually say they're reversible, and they can't exploit it for money because we don't pay for our healthcare over here. It's all government funded. So that they don't gain any profit. So if they don't gain any profit and it has actual horrible ramifications, then there's no need for them to keep it legal.
Right. Well, the point is how can anybody look at what we're talking about, chemical castration of children and child abuse and pedophilia, really? They're trying to legalize that. How do people look at that and go, you only believe that because it's a political propaganda piece? It's like, no, like how does who doesn't see pedophiles as a natural enemy? You know what I mean?
I don't know. I honestly don't know because I've shared a certain clip around all the Twitter. You might have seen it. It's a clip of a little girl stroking a grown man in dog fetish gimp gear at a pride parade, and there was actually people sticking up for it and defending it.
What was their argument to that? I don't get it.
Well, I can't remember most of the Twitter arguments, but I did share it in the Cult of Cornet Facebook Messenger group with a load of other things. I made a compilation of evidence of grooming for children, and I put it in that group when I was ranting about CM Punk, because I put, before you all call me bigots and such, watch this clip. It was about 1 minute and 7 seconds long, and then it was just full of evidence of grooming, and not one person said it was wrong.
Yeah, it's like that's fucking insane that nobody like even on that side could go, yeah, that's wrong, but I believe this. You know what I mean? It's just they can't even talk against it.
I did have a couple of people say that on Twitter. There are a couple of people that said, yeah, I don't agree with that, but you're also painting a bad light towards normal gay people, which I thought, yeah, I am a little bit, which is why I made that politically unbiased video, because in that video I was pretty politically unbiased, and I just stated facts, and said it is genuinely affecting normal gay people that just want to live their lives and not follow the rainbow cult.
Yeah, absolutely. But the problem is they, and I guess they're being forced to have to like sort of come out and speak about it. Like, because what's happening is now it seems like there's this secretive thing going on where they don't want to admit what it is. But like, if they're not speaking out about it, which is not fair, you're right though. Like, for me to say if a gay person's not speaking out about it, they must be a pedophile. It's not right. But the same thing is like what's being pushed under the guise of LGBTQ, and then somebody comes up to me and says, I'm LGBTQ. It's like, is it a political group? Is it a sexual identity? What are you identifying as? That's where I think it's so muddied that people are confused.
When people use the full thing LGBTQ 2S IA plus and whatever other fucking letters they decide to add, then yeah, that's when you attempt to educate them on the subject, and if they refuse to be educated on the subject, and that's why you just fucking groomer. You're a groomer.
Isn't that sort of the definition? You're educating a child on sex. You're grooming them.
Yeah, because what I do is, unless I see someone that's attacking us, if I see someone that's just saying why are people so homophobic, I will attempt to educate them on the subject before laying in on them, because that's the best way to go about it. If I just lay in on them immediately, then that's not going to help anything.
Well, what's crazy is when I tried to do that on the Kenny Omega post on Twitter, and I was showing pictures. One of the things was I was showing pictures of a sex change, and I was like,
"Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and
I remember seeing that. That was disgusting."
Yeah, And the reason why I shared that is because when I first saw it, I had such a visceral reaction to it that I was like, I will never support this. I just can't ever support this. It's like they've ruined their body.
It was that bad. I didn't even want to save it to my phone as evidence. Because usually when I find things like that, I'll save it and I'll say in my next argument with someone, look at this. But I couldn't even save that.
Yeah, it's sick. It's sick.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is I had to share it just as like go, all right, same reason why you're sharing the stuff like you did your compilation is like here's the real thing. Here's the evidence. Now let me see your visceral reaction. And their visceral reaction wasn't anger or disgust. You know what I mean? That's what throws me off is how do you not have that as a human? But then what's crazy is they tried to go, oh, well, now you're sharing child porn.
Oh, yeah, I know. I've had that. I've had people say, you have this next to pictures of your daughter. And I'm just like, no, I don't. Because I don't even have many pictures of my daughter on my phone. They're all on Facebook and my missus has got them all. And the only pictures I have of her are right at the bottom, the first few pictures I got. So no, I don't have these pictures next to pictures of my daughter. And they all try and call me a paedophile, and they try to get to me because they try and say, I molest my child. And I know what they're doing, and I don't let it get to me because I know exactly what they're doing, and I just don't let them get to me.
Yeah, me either, because it's just so ridiculous. It's like you're ignoring actual pedophilia, and you're trying to project it onto me, and I'm the one trying to expose it to you. It's just idiocy. It really is. Well, I've been anti CM Punk kind of since he came back. Like I just haven't been impressed with him anyway, so I it's been easy for me to kind of just say fuck CM Punk on this one. And I've never been a Kenny Omega fan either, so I think he's overrated. Always been.
Yeah. I liked what CM Punk did with MJF. That made for some compelling television when you skip out the rest of the show. But everything else apart from that is just But MJF's gold anyway. Everything he does, nearly everything he does is perfect. I won't say everything, nearly everything.
Well, let's be real. That was only good. That feud was only good because of MJF, I believe, because he was destroying CM Punk in the promo battles. CM Punk met his match on that one, I think.
Yeah, there's been a few occasions where people have actually gone toe to toe with CM Punk and they've made him look bad. Like even Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston, I don't like him because he's a fucking virtue signaler. But he made Punk look a bit shitty.
Yeah, he's a pretty good promo too because he's got like a realism to him that a lot of the wrestlers are missing.
Yeah, it's just too bad. He's a fucking virtue signaler.
Yeah, he's a dick. Yo, you sounds like you have an Eddie Kingston story.
Oh no, I don't have an Eddie Kingston story. It's just I want to be careful what I say because are you have you got any black in you?
Oh, it's a racial thing. Yes, but I'm apologetically black.
Right, because one thing that tends to annoy me is the Black Lives Matter stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're in the right.
So he had
let loose. You don't have to worry about.
Yeah. So he had that. He had that as his Twitter name. His Twitter name wasn't. I can't remember what else, but he had hashtag Black Lives Matter in his Twitter name, and he's fucking white. And
is he white?
So, yeah. Eddie Kingston's white. Yeah.
Really? I thought he was like a Puerto Rican or something.
No. He's fully 100% white from what I can tell.
He's a wigger.
But as soon as I saw he had hashtag Black Lives Matter in his name, I thought, oh no, I'm done with you.
He's what we in the States call a wigger.
Yes, we do use that term over here sometimes.
Oh, you do? Nice. Yeah.
Not as often as what it used to be used, but it has been used sometimes. Oh, as you were saying.
Yeah. You got to check out my Juneteenth coverage. So you'll know that this isn't I have two black co-hosts, and it's like that's the point of this show is we've broken that mold of
Yeah.
like we have to.
Uh,
Yeah, trust me, we speak out
I,
about the black community all the time. It's ridiculous.
I did. I keep interrupting you. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. It sucks with Discord. Go ahead though.
But I did see a video on Twitter yesterday, and it was a bunch of kids. They was all black, and I think they went into it. Might have been a McDonald's, but they all ran in there. About 20 of them, and they started kicking everything. They chased the staff into the staff room to it scared them off. They kicked the till out, and they'd run off with the cash register.
Right,
And
right.
then I saw loads of comments saying Juneteenth celebration, but we don't have Juneteenth over here. I think that's just an American thing.
I think so too because it's based on slavery.
Yeah,
based on American slavery. Yeah, I did a whole thing on just there was one that I did where the DJ at the party, there's a big fight that breaks out, and the DJ at the party is like screaming on the microphone, "Y'all break that shit up, man! Y'all break that shit up!" And then he screams, "Y'all niggas always fucking shit up." And I was like, you know what? I agree with him. I agree with that DJ. He said what we all are thinking. Y'all always fucking some shit up. But yeah, I hear I hear the UK over there is like pretty bad as far as the crime and what is it? You guys have the Muslims.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of fucking Muslims, but it depends what area you live in. Where I live now, it's heavily white, but obviously there's you'll come across a few other colours, but the whites around there they're just as bad.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of crime around here for a small town. But where I used to live, which is Burton-on-Trent, which is a big place, heavily populated by Muslims. There was loads of gang crime, and they hated whites. And I went to school there at one point, and they all used to walk around with their cricket bats because they all played cricket, making fun of the whites, and you couldn't really do anything about it.
They walk around with cricket bats.
Oh yeah, they all play cricket.
Jeez.
All of them. Every single one I've known. Every Muslim I've known, they all play cricket. I don't know why, but they do.
Well, that's a big thing with the Caribbeans too, because that's where that's my ethnicity. My father's from Jamaica, and they play because there's a lot, I guess, British influence in Jamaica, so they're really big on cricket. Hold on, there was something else. Somebody in my chat just said that WWE posted. Hold on.
Yeah, they've posted something with Finn Balor. I can't remember what it is. It's too light. It is quite light. I'm not trying to be wrestling company biased, but they're not saying support fucking trans youth. Yeah. They're just selling Pride merch, which every fucking place does. Fuck all we can do about it.
Yeah, it looks like this is what the comment says. WWE just posted Cody Rhodes and The Miz promoting Pride Month.
So I didn't see that one. I saw one with Finn, but I didn't see one with Cody and The Miz.
Yeah, they were posting that one with Finn. That was from an entrance he did, I think, at WrestleMania or something. Which I
WrestleMania 34.
Yeah, he came out with all the the rainbow merch and all that stuff. Which I don't support Pride, but at the same time, that wasn't so overly like you just said. It wasn't throwing out that was a different time too. That was a couple years ago. So it wasn't as overtly.
It was quite 2018.
Yeah, that wasn't as it was overt. Don't get me wrong, but it was they weren't throwing in the grooming shit as much. Yeah. Let's see what this is. WWE superstars show their pride for Pride Month. Let me just run through that real quick. See if there's pictures. I'm a picture guy. Oh well, Sonya Deville, she's a lesbian.
Yeah. She's never go into any. If Sonya Deville posts anything, never go into her comments ever. Don't do it.
Oh yeah,
It's weird in there.
She's got some killers in there.
She's got some simps in there, and then they're proper simps, and they say,
oh,
I can't remember what they say actually. It's been a while since I saw him, but it's some weird shit.
Says here, well, Finn Balor just looking like a flamer, a complete flamer in this picture. He's not gay though, right?
No, he's not gay. But he's been supporting it for a while. I remember when I watched his interview with Daniel Cormier on ESPN. It's just before WrestleMania, and right at the beginning of the interview, Daniel Cormier says to him, "Oh, you're a big advocate for diversity and inclusion." And I thought, "Oh no."
Oh Jesus.
And then Finn sat there and said, "Yeah, I can't do an Irish accent. Well, I can, but not on camera because I'll get nervous." But he says, "Yeah, I'm a big advocate of the LGBTQ."
Oh.
I sounded scouse then. That wasn't Irish. That was terrible Irish. But yeah, he didn't sound very enthusiastic about it.
Oh, so you think there's like something else attached to that?
Maybe, but he did seem a bit pissed off because he wasn't doing anything for it that year. Because Cormier asked him, "Are you doing anything this year?" He says, No, I'm not doing. Unfortunately, not. So he might have been just annoyed with that.
Huh. Or
But
maybe he felt like he was being made fun of or something.
No, he just didn't seem very enthused. It's like the words were being forced out of his mouth.
Ah.
But he just didn't see. If you go and watch it, you'll see what I mean. He just doesn't seem very enthusiastic about the situation.
Was he doing all this stuff before WWE? All the LGBTQ stuff?
Was he doing it before WWE?
Yeah. Was this like a thing he's always done?
I don't know, because by the time I actually started watching wrestling again, from when I had a break from it, he was already in NXT, and I'd never heard of him before that. So I couldn't tell you.
Got you. Because maybe they're looking at it like, because they might look at him, and companies do this, trust me. I was in show business. They go, well, look, the way you look, you'd appeal to the gay demographic. Because he looks gay. And he might not actually be into this, but he's doing it for the money, you know? And for the clout.
Yeah.
Like we were talking earlier.
Yeah, I know what you mean by the way he looks. And the entrance he used to do when the poses he was doing, it did seem a bit suspect.
It's yeah. Well, real quick,
he's.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, he's not gay, because I did look it up myself. I was thinking, is he doing it for himself, or is he getting clout? So I looked it up, and then yeah, he's straight.
Yeah, I feel like I don't feel like this is a passion project from him. You know, they have quite a few of them. It looks like Montez Ford, which you know what they're going for in that one. Montez Ford. I mean, he's trying to keep it street,
right?
But he doesn't look like. All right, Bianca Belair, which I guess they got the husband and wife in on it.
Yeah, I remember there's some pictures last year, and I came across them on YouTube because I didn't have Twitter then. And I remember Matt Riddle being in one of them, and Matt Riddle really looked gay in it. I think they must have been told to look the part because they was all standing oddly weird like they never do.
Yeah, that's what they're all like posing in this weird contrived manner. The only one that looks natural is Finn Balor, I'll be honest. The kid's got the look. He's got the gay look. Yeah. All right. Well, let me before we get at it, I don't want to hold you too long. What's some wrestlers like? What are your top guys? Give me your top 5 right now.
Right, so if I was going to give you a bias top 5, then Sami Zayn would be number 1. However, if it wasn't for Roman Reigns, then Sami Zayn or Jey Uso would not be in this conversation. So I do have to put Roman at number 1, so simply for that fact.
Just because
number 2 would be Sami Zayn. Number 3, Jey Uso. 4, LA Knight, and 5, Gunther.
Solid. I gotta say, the 2 that I have with yours is definitely LA Knight. LA Knight might be my number 1. I think if they do it right, he's gonna be the biggest star of this decade. He's gonna be the guy. I know
if they do it right. I have a feeling he's going to be another Dolph Ziggler.
The only thing that works against him is his age, but he has everything. He has the promo, he has the work, he has the look. He actually comes off as a star. He has everything. He has the full package.
I know, but so did Dolph, and they use him for enhancement talent, and it feels like they're using LA Knight for enhancement talent only.
I gotta disagree that that Dolph is on that level. I think Dolph was missing something. I can't put my finger on it, but he was missing a promo. I don't think he had a good promo. He was a good talker, but he didn't have a great promo. Like he was missing that it factor, I think.
I know he could have been a lot bigger than what he is though.
Definitely that, yeah.
But I think his selling worked against him. They found out he was a good seller, and they're like, right, we're going to use you for enhancement talent only. We're going to use you to make the new guys look good, and you're going to lose everything.
It's just his age that makes me think that. That's the only thing. Did you see the promo? Peter Ortiz just brought it up in my chat. The promo from Raw where they did the quintessential everybody comes out and interrupts each other and then cuts the promo.
Yeah, I saw that. The reaction he got was on levels of The Rock and Stone Cold.
It was electric, bro. When he came out, it changed the whole feeling of the show almost. And then he comes out and just cuts this, like, easily cuts this promo that destroys everybody. And he stood out. He stood out. I think he needs to win the Money in the Bank.
Everyone thinks he needs to win it, but I don't know who's winning. I did say in a short that I think it's going to be Damian Priest. But now that they've added Logan Paul in, I'm really unsure now. But maybe that's what they are doing. They put Logan Paul in to make us unsure, to swerve us. And then maybe LA Knight does win, but we'll see.
I hear what their initiative right now is. They're trying to make the bloodline, not the bloodline, the Judgment Day almost the new bloodline as far as like the stable that runs that show. Because I think if you've seen, they just put Finn into the world title picture with Seth.
Yeah, and they tried to get him to cut a heartfelt promo, and it didn't work because the crowd was not letting him.
Sorry, say that again. I didn't.
Because I think last week they got him to try and cut this promo to say they're going to get his revenge from SummerSlam when Seth injured him, and he was trying to talk, and the fans just kept singing and interrupting him, and it's the fans singing Seth's theme while wrestlers are talking is more annoying than the what chant.
I haven't gotten that annoyed by it yet. The what chant just really got to me at a point. I don't mind that because that's almost the shtick the fans are playing with the Judgment Day, because they do that a lot with Dominic where they don't let him talk. And that could work almost like if you remember Kurt Angle when they used to do that to him. He would play off on the what chant a lot and it would be hilarious. He was the only one that would do that.
Yeah, well, with Dom, it's because he actually has a real heel heat, and people enjoy booing him, and that's his stick. He He goes to talk, he gets booed, he laughs it off and continue that. But what they did with Finn, it felt like the fans just didn't care what he was saying, and they made him look like a chump. He didn't look like he should be taken seriously.
Fair enough.
But he rectified. He sort of rectified that this week because he did a pretty good attack on Seth. So he's fixed that a little bit.
Now that you're saying that, maybe that's why they did that, because he did look like weak to the fans. So it was almost like, all right, we got to kind of open their eyes a little bit, make them take Finn seriously. So, I mean, yeah, it could, I mean, I've never been a Finn Balor fan. I've always kind of despised him because I think he's a great wrestler. But his promos, I'm a promo guy. So I agree with you. Like I see on like where the fans could probably, it not being the shtick, they just really didn't give a fuck about listening to Finn Balor. Because I agree with that. Yeah. He's just droning sometimes.
Well, he was trying, and they just wasn't letting him get anything out.
Yeah. Somebody keeps blowing up the chat. Erin Aldana, who do you think will win today in a tag team match? The Hardys versus the Gun? Who's the Gun?
I think he's talking about Billy Gunn's sons. The Guns.
I don't know. That's it's not real. It's like not a real competition, so I couldn't tell you. Like, I don't like those questions because it's like it's whoever the booker decides wins.
Yeah, I get these questions a lot from my fans. My friends who are casuals.
Mm-hmm.
So I randomly get a message from one of them, and he says, "Who do you think will win? Roman Reigns or Batista?" I'll just say Roman, just to shut him up.
You're right. I always take it from the standpoint they're probably asking if it was a real fight, who would win?
Well, the Hardys are pretty old, and they've all got issues with the bodies. If it was a real fight, the Guns would probably beat the shit out of the Hardys because they're old.
Hold on though. Let me give you a caveat. The Hardys versus the Guns, but Jeff Hardy is on mass amounts of cocaine. That's a whole different story now.
No, I think if Jeff was on mass amounts of cocaine, he'd probably try and say, no, we don't need to fight. Have a line of this and we can chill out. Yeah. I don't think there'll be any fighting.
Yeah, then I would end with them all jumping off of something together.
Yeah.
This is going to be cool. Yeah, I don't know how to answer that question. They were mad we ignored it. But that's why I ignored it. It's not a question you can answer. You got to give me some context to it. Shinsuke can cut a better promo than Finn Balor. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give him. I cut him some slack because he's doing the Japanese thing. It's like Asuka. I could listen to her just come out screaming in Japanese. I don't need to know what she's saying. It's just cool. I'd rather them speak Japanese than try to speak English sometimes.
Yeah, but then I've got to wait for someone to translate it.
When did you start watching wrestling? Like, how old are you, by the way?
I'm 25.
Really? Okay.
I started watching in 2009, just before I turned 11. Gotcha. So that's back when it was strictly for kids, and I was a kid. So I was watching it. I was John Cena and so on. But I was taking a liking to heels like Edge and Chris Jericho. So I think that was the mark in me, waiting to be released. And then after so long, it just started getting really boring for me. But I didn't want to leave it because I was a fan of wrestling, and it was at the time when we had John Laurinaitis, which is around the time.
People power.
I didn't choose to start. I didn't choose to stop watching, but I had to stop watching. And then I stopped watching for a few years, and then a friend came to me and says, "Oh, why don't you watch WWE?" And I said, "No, it's for kids." And he said, "No, it's not." So I watched some stuff, and then even though I wasn't pleased with what I watched, I still continued to watch, and then I started getting that bug again, which was around the time of WrestleMania 32. And then from then, I just continued watching, and then sometimes I'd go off due to personal reasons, but I'd still follow it.
Gotcha. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I was Attitude Era kid. That's when I started watching.
Yeah, I assume you thought I was Attitude Era as well, because I do look about 40.
I'm honestly, I thought you were a little older. Thought you were around my age though.
No, how old are you?
I'm 34.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm only 25, but I look about 40.
You got your whole life ahead of you. I'm gonna start saying that too.
I've lived it. I've lived it. I've had many ups and downs, and I'm happy just being a family man who goes to bed early, gets baked, and go and play on the Xbox, and that's that. So as soon as my kid goes to bed, that's it. It's relax time.
Hey, you're living the life, bro. Without a family, what would you be doing? You know what I mean?
Cocaine.
Exactly.
Because that's what I was doing before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't. I mean, it was a pleasant experience when at the beginning, and then it became an expensive habit I couldn't afford to do, and then yeah, you know how it works.
Well, when did you start doing it? Was that like a high school, college thing?
No. First time I did it was 2017. I was, how old was I? 18, I think. I think I was 18 or 19. And then yeah, it became a habit. And then I moved away because I was living here at the time. I moved away from here to my cousin's, which was in Burton, which is where I previously mentioned, where all the all the Muslims are, the whites. So I came off it for a bit then, and then I got back on it. But it didn't become a massive issue at that point. It was just a recreational thing. I could take it or leave it. And then I met my missus, and then I stopped doing it immediately, and I haven't done it since.
Nice, man. And that's all you were. That was all your thing. The thing you did was coke. That was your thing.
Yes. I didn't have anything. I was very lonely. I didn't have anyone. Didn't have anything, and all I had was friends to party with, and that's all I cared about at that point in my life.
Right. It's almost like there was no purpose to it, so that's all you left to do. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's well, good. You got out of that. You like you said, you became a family man. Changed your life.
I was just waiting for the moment to finally get what I want, which was this. This is what I wanted. Just having my own house, my own family, and yeah, I got that. So I thought, right, okay, time to stop.
And you know what's crazy is or what's great, I shouldn't say crazy, is that you're 25. Like you got that all like very early still, even though you went through your period of time there. So there's like like me, I'm still trying to get like I went through a long time where I was like a goofy liberal. I had no purpose, no fucking direction. And I did that too long. So now I'm like 34. I'm in a good relationship, all that stuff, going somewhere good. I'm doing it differently. So yeah, man, I'm trying to get where you're at, bro. So that's it's good to have that direction in your life.
Yeah, it can be a long road. It can be a long road, depending on your situation. And And when it comes to relationship arguments, you've just got to you've got to be sensible because you've got to make sure it does not spiral out of control. Because once it spirals out of control, then that's when you think, oh no, this is going to be hard to fix. So I managed to. So when we do argue, which is barely ever, but when we do, I I maintain it so it does not spiral into something than what it should have already been.
Right, right. Did you have you had a good relationship with your parents, family, all that stuff?
Oh, that's a long story. Let me see how much time I've got. Uh,
You can always come back on too. You're always welcome. You're a good talk, man.
yeah, that's a long, dark story.
Ah,
Very dark. Which is how I ended up taking my drugs.
I see. I see.
But yeah, the short version is by the age of 13, my mum had passed away and my dad was brain damaged. So I was being passed from family member to family member and being used by them as like a not a slave, but one away from that, just an errand boy to be used.
Mm,
And I was like that for a while.
wow. That's right. So you were looked at like you almost as like just a. You said the word slave, but it's like you're just somebody who does things, but that's supposed to be your
Yeah,
family. Yeah, that's rough, man.
yeah, and I don't have a choice I don't have a choice. If I say no, I don't want to do these things, then I'd get yelled at and so on. And it was ridiculous things,
Right, right.
and and having to run around for people that should be doing these things themselves, and they're just too lazy to do them. And because I was just a kid, I didn't have much choice.
Yeah. You still like I would hope that you kind of like let go of all that anger and stuff, or are you still holding on to any of that?
Oh no, I managed to release it all. My missus helped me with that because
Beautiful.
I don't open up to people because I don't take sympathy well. So I just try to ignore talking about my past. But she eventually got me to do it, and it was probably the best thing for me.
Right, right. Yeah, you got to be able to talk about all that stuff, man. Because that's how I started realizing is the things that I can't talk about. That's the things that are holding me back. It's like just something emotionally or whatever, spiritually there. That's a block. Should be able to talk about it. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
Wow,
Well,
very interesting.
I've talked about it and I've got it out of my system, but well, when someone brings it up to me and or someone asks me, I'm just like, do I want to talk about this? I don't know because I don't like coming off as an attention seeker.
I get you. Yeah. I don't. I like force myself sometimes. It's like talk about personal things. Because I'd rather just sit here and talk and critique the world around me. But yeah, I think it's because that gives me a whole perspective on you. You know what I mean? Like you don't know who you're talking to, but then it's like this guy's been through
Yeah,
a lot of stuff. Yeah, and then it gives me perspective on why you believe what you believe. You know, like you're not stuck
no,
in that world. Were you ever like a more liberal guy?
no, not really. I wasn't really. I didn't really care about politics until the last couple of years.
Gotcha, gotcha.
It never really interested me. I knew that there was more political movements going on and so on, but I didn't know what was going on with the kids at the time. Uh, and then through Matt Walsh and people like that, that's when I started to realise what was really going on. And then because I'm a dad myself, it's getting a serious issue. So I need to be involved in this fight in order to protect my daughter.
That's I wish every parent, every father had that thought. Because if that was if fathers had that way of thinking, everyone they wouldn't even try this shit. It's like they're
there's a lot more parents fighting back, and even the kids. The kids are starting to fight back now. There's been
mm-hmm.
3 instances I've heard of where teachers are trying to push this in schools, and the kids just say no, we're not interested, and then the kids get punished by the teachers. There's one in England, which happened not long ago. One in Scotland, which was recent, and then I saw one from 2 weeks ago in America where they booed a Pride video.
Yeah, I've been watching those fucking infuriate me so much. I don't even have kids. So I couldn't even imagine if you had kids and you saw that, that's going on.
Yeah, well, fortunately, the government around here has cracked down on it, but that's for now. And when the general election comes along, it might change because they're not doing very well. Because they have messed a lot of things up. The right wing government have, which wasn't the current prime minister's fault, but we've had three prime ministers from last year. There's Boris Johnson, which he did some stupid things, and then was forced to resign, and then he was replaced by Liz Truss, who in under 50 days completely destroyed our currency and put us one step away from a recession in under 50 days. So then she resigned, and now it's Rishi Sunak, who's an Indian guy, but he's getting us back on track.
Oh, he's actually working out.
Yeah, but people don't care about that. Their reputation has been tarnished heavily, and if the Labour Party win, which are the leftists, that's run by Keir Starmer, and he's the sort of person that can't define what a woman is, and he's the sort of person that doesn't care about men in women's sports.
And this is the thing that and I guess we could just leave it here because I want to ask you this question. Sort of rhetorical, but I kind of want to see if you have an answer. Once sort of the pendulum starts swinging back the other way, they get rid of all this because they're starting to do it. The companies are starting to realize Pride Month is toxic to their company. They're taking down Pride decorations. If they start even pulling back on the transing the youth thing, right? How do we move the fuck on after that? How do we do that knowing all right, well, these people were just last year trying to legalize pedophilia. So does nothing happen to them? Do they go back in the closet? How do we move on?
I don't know, because loads of damage has been done. And the only way we can move on is if everyone, this includes the queers, the furries, I fucking hate the furries, and they just say, right, we've been stupid, most of us have already fucked our bodies up permanently, and we're infertile, but we're going to stop this now, and we're just going to leave the kids alone. But I don't see that happening ever. I reckon we've got a good many years of this, and I don't know how it's going to end.
That's a fair answer. Couldn't ask for more.
Because obviously the left is most likely going to win over here, and things might start going downhill again over here when our general election is. I think that's in 2024, and then Canada. I don't know much about the Canada elections, but how long is Trudeau in for?
Honestly, I don't think anybody knows anything about the Canada elections.
Because Trudeau, he's
a dictator.
I think he's worse than Biden at this point with what he's done.
Yeah, because he's actually he has the wherewithal to know what he's doing.
Yeah, and what he's doing is he's taken parental rights away from the parents, hasn't he? And if they go against it, they get arrested.
They get jailed and fined. Yeah, it's crazy. They've turned kids against their parents. They've effectively done that. Yeah,
and then the most important one, because obviously America is one of the most powerful nations in the West. The most important one is who's going to win the American election, because that's why I follow it so much. Is Trump going to succeed? Is DeSantis going to, which I don't think he will, Well, is DeSantis going to succeed, or is Biden going to rig it? And or I can't say that because we're on YouTube, and YouTube will censor and that sort of thing.
Well, not
But
anymore.
is Biden going to somehow pull it off? And that, yeah, and that'll be the worst thing. And my opinions on, because I think Trump, when it comes to Trump and DeSantis, I know you probably don't like DeSantis because I saw what he'd done.
Well, hold on. Let me just give you some context. I'm from Florida, so I love DeSantis and his run as governor. I think it was great. I just don't think he has it to be the president. Not yet. Not yet. But go ahead.
Yeah, because from what I've seen, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but Trump seems a little bit more concerned about immigration, and then DeSantis seems more concerned about protecting kids.
Right.
But I don't know why they need to be at odds with each other as well, because they're on the same side. Are people allowed to communicate and help each other in an election, or is that against the law?
No, well, the thing is that it's coming down to more like, I guess, personal reasons why they're not running together, which I agree. Like the way you just put it, that would be amazing if they did run together and Trump was like, all right, I'm going to take care of foreign policy and immigration and all that. You deal with the CRT and the kids and the transing the youth and all that stuff. You deal with that. I think it's coming down to that. This gets like more complex, so I don't know if we have time to even get into that conversation. But it comes down to more that Trump basically made DeSantis. Nobody knew who he was. He wasn't very successful in his campaign as governor without Trump endorsing him. And now he's taking like very like deceitful tactics. Like I did one on the AI thing. I thought that was just insane, in my opinion. So he's kind of becoming, or he's letting his campaign be run a way that I don't think he's in favor of it or he's not standing up against it. So I just don't feel like it's his character that's bothering me. If I were to give you just one word, a one-word answer, I don't think he has a lot of integrity.
Right.
Though he will stand up to the left, which is what I love about him. He'll stand up to the left. He'll stand up to the media. He's not a bad guy, I don't think. But sorry, I know that was like really dicey, all that shit that I just said. But
yeah.
But
the common goal for all of us is we just need to protect the kids, protect the future generation. Because if people like Trudeau, Biden, and Keir Starmer have their way, there will be no future to protect, because everyone's going to be infertile and a fairy.
Can I give you just like a little insight too on what's going on in America? Maybe you don't see this. Is everything is so touchy right now that there's so many people that are like covertly trying to push through like these things, like where the whole I know we keep using this as the example, but the transing the youth thing, they keep using that as like it's healthcare, it's this and that, but we really know what it's doing. So we know that it's between how many people really know what's happening and is in favor of it, or how many people are actually oblivious to what's going on. And we're so like we're so worried that we're picking the wrong person or trusting the wrong person, that person could be, you know, a Republican, but they're actually secretly pushing through transitioning the youth policies, you know? So it's just like everybody's trying to like sort of besmirch each other's character. And it's like that's where we are as far as that. We don't know who to trust. So we agree with what you're saying. It's just like, who do we pick to be the guy to push that through? We don't know who the guy is. So everybody trusts Trump right now because he's basically has the track record. He, you know, he has the policy, all that stuff. And he's also the guy that the left is telling us not to vote for.
Yeah, obviously they're trying their best to make sure Trump doesn't get elected, and then you've got the brainwashed people. Unfortunately, like Jim Cornette, because Jim Cornette hates Trump. I don't know why, but he's always talking about insurrections and January 6th and Trump this and Trump that. And when he does that, I just turn him off and I'll go to another video. But there are people who are genuinely brainwashed. Trump is an evil man, and he's the most evil person since Hitler. I don't know why. I don't know where they're getting this from, because he looks fine to me. And I don't get it. And the story came out that Brie Larson told Samuel L. Jackson that when Trump got elected, she was in tears. She was broken that Trump got elected as president. I was like, why? Why? I don't get it.
Yeah, it's like popularity kind of propaganda. I'm somebody popular, so I'm gonna say this so that my fans will follow.
Yeah. I still haven't told the full Jim Cornette story, so I'll
Yeah,
tell that, and then we'll get off.
yeah. Go ahead,
So
please.
I saw what CM Punk had. I woken up, so I was thinking, right, okay, I'll check out Collision on YouTube. I'll watch CM Punk promo. I thought, okay, it's not great, but it'll do. So I went onto Twitter, and then I saw that sign, and I thought, no, this has to be Photoshop, because someone did it to Christian a few months ago. That they basically made it look like Christian was supporting trans kids, but it was photoshopped. So they don't have to worry about that one. So I thought, no, please tell me this is photoshopped, and it wasn't. So I thought, right, I was angry. I've been betrayed by CM Punk. The one person I thought would, well, I was sort of suspecting that he might do this, but I was thinking, no, you can't do this, and he did it. So I vented on Twitter, and then I went to the Cornet Facebook Messenger chat, and I thought, surely these people understand, right? Because Jim Cornette, even though he's a far leftist, he's always fighting the cancel culture. It's like he's a leftist, but he's not. So
Mm-hmm.
so I thought, right, okay, these people will understand surely. So I sent the picture. I said how pissed off I was, and I also sent that compilation. But I said, before anyone calls me a bigot, watch this clip. And I had one person coming at me with the pride flag saying, "Oh, what's wrong with supporting the LGBTQ youth and so on?" And then I had a couple of other people coming at me, and then I sent them a video of a guy called Amir Odom, who's a gay man that is speaking out about the situation and says he wants nothing to do with pride anymore because it's all been tarnished. And another guy said, "Well, he's probably just self-hating." I watched a video of a black man who was self-hating, and I said, "Well, yeah, that's probably just because he believes in the white privilege lie." And they tried saying that was racism, and it's not racism whatsoever, because yeah, white privilege was an issue a long time ago, and is a little bit depending where you work, and if your boss is actually racist. From my experiences, the Muslims always got the promotions, and the Polish, I never did.
Yeah, it's
But
always affirmative action. Yeah.
yeah, and they tried to call me a racist because I said white privilege was a lie, and it's like, it is. Why do you need to see yourself as victims? And it's like using the term POC instead of just saying the word black. Why? It makes you sound like you've got a disability. It's not a disability. You're human like me. And they just kept saying, "Oh, you said racism was a lie." I said, "No, I didn't. You know, you're putting words into my mouth. You're changing my words. You're attacking me when all I'm doing is trying to have a discussion." And then I had a moderator come in and say, "Oh, we don't want your racism in this chat." So at this point, I had a massive headache, and one of the people he tried defending the clip with the little girl stroking the man in dog fetish gimp gear. He
Right.
tried saying, well, maybe her parents are LGBTQ and this is what they do at home. And I was like, no, you don't do this in front of kids. We don't do shit in front of our kid. You just don't do it.
Right.
You don't
Right.
tell your child what you do in the bedroom. but they didn't understand these simple concepts, and they were just so brainwashed. I thought, right, I'm gonna get kicked out. I'm gonna get kicked out of chat anyway. So I just left because I had a really bad headache. They'd give me one, and I was just so angry and confused that people are actually this dumb.
It was almost like they're just lost. You can't. There's no helping it. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
and there was not one person on my side either. Not one person. Everyone was just jumping on me, calling me all the buzzwords you can think of.
And from what you're explaining, it didn't sound like you didn't go at it like you just said, "Hey, before you say anything, just watch this." Like you didn't even give an opinion or anything. You just shared a thing. You shared information.
Yeah, I did say how angry I was with Punk, but I didn't use the word groomer. I didn't use the word I didn't use the word child mutilation. I didn't use any of these words we usually use. I just said I'm annoyed. I'm pissed off. Sent the image. I sent the clip. Watch this before you start calling me a bunch of buzzwords. But they watched it and still called me a bunch of buzzwords anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, you went about it better. I said that the CM stood for child molester.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I was very angry, and I was doing that on Twitter for a couple of days. I was just going around calling everyone groomer because I was pissed off. And then when I calmed down, I decided, right, I'll make a politically unbiased video, and I'll share it around. And anyone who decides to call me a bunch of buzzwords, I'll just say, watch this clip, and you'll see how homophobic I really am. And because I wasn't anything phobic in that video whatsoever, I just stated facts, and that was that. I just stated facts.
Right. Well, look, that's why I reached out to you, because you came to my aid in a and I never look for it. I don't, I look for it in the same way you do, just like kind of like judging like how many people are actually like for this. How many people are going to argue against me? How many people are going to be reasonable? You know what I mean? And the fact that you came to my aid, I was like, I got to reach out to this guy. I saw you do a channel and all that stuff, and I think it's important. Like, there's not enough people saying things publicly, saying the things we're saying publicly. So that's why I wanted to, actually talk to you, get your take on the world. Anytime anything goes down like that, you need any help, call on the Misfit Nation. We got you. We got your back,
Yeah, man.
Cross, man.
I'm not a very good talk, but I've done better than the last live stream I did, which was horrible. I got asked to review WrestleMania with this guy. It was called the Sports Carnage. So I thought, okay, it's just gonna be me and him. We'll talk about WrestleMania. And there was about 5 of us. I was just sat here shitting myself, and I was thinking, oh fuck. And every time it was my turn to talk, I felt like I was gonna have a fucking panic attack, and I hated it. So I was just like, give a blunt answer, and then just wait until it's over. I hated it, really did.
Yeah, I hate panels as well. I've done maybe 1 or 2, and after that, I was just like, yeah, this isn't for me. It's like 9 people arguing about politics. It just was like, it was how you said. I was getting a headache, and I was just getting pissed because I was like, I don't know where to fucking butt in here. So
they did ask me to come on a second time, which I said yes to. But I always have a devil on my shoulder when I'm going to do something like this, and it tell me not to do it. I've got something in my mind that says no, don't do it, because it's like an anxiety thing. And I did have it with this as well, but I said no. I'm not going to fucking do that. I'm going to do it, and it'll be fine, and it has been fine.
Yeah, man. Well, like I told you earlier, you're always welcome to come on, man. Just let me know, reach out, keep in touch. And I put your link in the chat there, so everybody go give a subscribe to Mr. Crossman Wrestling. Give us a little sell on your stuff.
I don't talk shit. Basically, I don't parrot everything that everyone else does. I give my opinions. Sometimes I'll come up with something a little bit different, creative, like that the Bloodline movie trailer I did, because I just decided on Saturday morning, I thought, because it was after Jey Uso turned on Roman, so I thought, oh, this is really good, and it's better than anything's going on in Hollywood. So I thought, right, imagine I've not seen a movie trailer for it, like a concept. So I thought, right, I'll make one, and I'll see how far I can get with it because I didn't think I'd ever finish it.
Right.
Well, I did finish it, and I was really proud of it. Obviously, I got a couple of copyright claims, but there wasn't bad enough to affect the channel. It says I don't need to take anything down. I don't need to do anything with it. So I was like, right, okay, it's only banned in India. But yeah, subscribe because I don't talk shit like everyone else. I don't parrot the news. I did parrot the news at first, and then I realised that wasn't working, so I just decided to just make videos when I feel like I've got something, an opinion worth giving, instead of making videos for the sake of making videos like everyone else.
Nice. Yeah, bro. And sorry. Go ahead.
So I know that's probably not a good sell, but it'll do.
Hey, that's I was telling you in the text there. You're taking the righteous road, so just know that things are gonna come. You know, there's gonna be suspensions, demonetizing, all that stuff. People are gonna report you. You just keep fighting through. Don't let them change what you're doing. Stay righteous. Yeah, man.
My channel was growing, and then because my old phone was terrible, I decided to just take a break until I got a new one, and that break went on too long. And the views I was getting a month ago, I'm not getting now, and I thought, oh no, I've got to start from square one, because the highest viewed video I've got is 1.2k, and it's me ripping on JD from New York. I do a parody of him, and that's the highest viewed video. And then I've got my WWE 2K23 review, which was not a positive review whatsoever. I ended up getting rid of the game. I'd rather play 2K22 because that actually works. And then my views are going down gradually, and I thought, right, I'm just going to take a break, wait till I get a new phone, and then I'm starting from square one again, basically.
Yeah, hey, sometimes that's good. We did. This is how I know AEW, and I'll let you go after this. AEW is a bunch of libs. We did this whole thing that went viral on Orange Cassidy when he first debuted, and we were following him, and I turned this thing in a segment called the Freshly Squeezed Update. So we would always update Orange Cassidy clips and all that type of stuff. We would do watch-alongs, all that stuff, and then I did a song that got almost 20,000 views or something like that. And I know for a fact somebody told me through the grapevine that AEW knew about it, and they were like, interested in it. That some of the guys got a kick out of it, all that type of stuff, right? And they never got back to me on any of it. And I really believe it was because they saw the rest of our content, because most of our content is political, and they were like, "Oh, we're not touching that." We were doing, talking about all the stuff we talked about tonight, and I just don't think they wanted to touch us. They didn't want to fuck with us.
No, I don't think no. I don't know what Tony's political stance is, but I know he's a massive pushover, and he'll do what other people want to do. Obviously, Young Bucks and I think Jericho are right, and then everyone else is just left, especially Punk, FDR, Bryan Danielson, all these guys. They're all self-righteous left wingers who want to virtue signal about the environment and trans kids and all that shit.
Well, I know Orange Cassidy himself is a environmentalist, right?
I don't know. I've never heard him speak. I try not to pay too much attention to Orange Cassidy because I think his wrestling's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
As Cornette would say, he's ruining the goddamn business.
He is.
He's killing the game.
He's the most dominant champion they've got, and he just wrestles with his hands in his pocket. And, he's a comedy act. He shouldn't be the most dominant champion in the company when he's just a comedy act, and that's all he is. He's their version of Santino.
Their champion is what most of their characters are on that show. It's all a big inside joke, and you're either in on the joke or you're not. That's the way
I'm not in on the joke, especially when they're making it look incredibly fake, and So
Right.
sometimes I can forgive that. Sometimes if it's very small and it's not disturbing the match, then I'll let it go. But if it's something like Orange Cassidy or John Moxley blading on camera or the young bucks doing stupid stuff that doesn't make any sense, like I can't remember what it was that they got. It was in a tag team match. Uh, they stunned the opponent in front of him, and then they put his partner in his other partner's hands in a tombstone position, and they super kicked his knees, so he did a tombstone on his own partner. It didn't make any sense
It
whatsoever.
it makes no sense. Yeah. Like I saw
And, and then
one.
and then
Sorry, go ahead.
carry on.
I saw one where it was like the whole hot tag thing. I gotta go say no. It was the I gotta go save my partner from getting counted. It was like the trios match, and he runs in, and I can't remember the guys, but he runs in, saves the partner that's not being pinned, and then the guy that he saved goes and saves the guy that was being pinned. I was like, why didn't he just come
Right.
in and save the guy that was being pinned?
I don't know.
It,
Well, what I was going to say was about all these Mexican guys they're bringing, like El Hijo del Vikingo and Commander, and everything they do is just choreographed.
mhm.
It's visibly choreographed, um, and you can tell they're what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, I can't remember the word I'm looking for, but you can tell they're working together. You can tell they're not trying to hurt each other, and it's like they're trying to dance instead of wrestle.
It's the same thing of like when somebody's on the top rope and they all group together outside and you can see them
Yeah,
waiting for it. Like I hate that shit. That really
yeah.
like irks me.
That's numbed down for me because they've been doing it for years, and I just expect it in every match. Uh, well, the excessive super kicks are starting to annoy me a little bit.
Oh my god.
There's too many super kicks. The once great sweet chin music is now a transitional move.
Yeah.
It makes every wrestler that's been pinned by the sweet chin music look terrible in comparison because it's now just a transitional move.
And then the slapping of the leg. All of
Yeah,
them doing the slapping
yeah.
of
It's
the.
it's it's all terrible. It's all ridiculous. I like a match that makes sense. Roman Reigns matches make sense, and he's a really good seller as well.
Mhm.
Even when he defeats his opponents, he puts them over in some way because he sells well for them, even for Sami Zayn. And I remember when Roman squashed Sami just before it was just before day one that one off pay per view they did where
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar destroyed him. Roman Reigns came out and speared him, and that was done. And then you look on a year later, and the difference because it's now run by Triple H and not Vince. And Sami Zayn looked credible, and he looked good in defeat.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Roman Reigns has that like where they try to play off the commentators will try to play off a boring match as slow and methodical. Like he actually has a nice slow and methodical kind of way of doing
Yeah.
because he also adds in the showboating and the screaming at the fans and screaming at the
And
dude that he's fighting. Stay the fuck down. That kind of shit.
yeah,
I
yeah,
like that.
he's really good with that. And the thing is with Roman matches is there's a couple of times where I thought he was going to lose. Clash at the Castle. I was watching that live. I was very drunk. I was I was convinced Drew was winning,
Yeah.
and then he lost, and then they started doing karaoke with Tyson Fury, and I was getting angry. I was getting angry. Why are they singing? I've got friends around. I'm trying to get them into wrestling, and I've got Tyson Fury and Drew McIntyre singing American Pie.
It was
What the
embarrassing.
fuck's going on?
Yeah, shouldn't he be pissed off that he just lost? He could have won the champ. I've been called me and my good friend by the name of Wonder. We do a wrestling show called Kayfabe Cartel, and I've been calling this Roman thing for like like a year straight now. That he was the only one that I thought he was gonna lose was against Cody because I really did. I thought they were gonna pull the trigger, and then when he won, I was actually so happy. I was really happy he beat Cody, and that it
the
go
the,
ahead.
the only bad thing that's been going on with Roman's run is Raw suffered for just over a year. Raw really suffered because all they had. Because if you're like me and you're not really into women's wrestling, I'm not into women's
I'm
wrestling,
not.
and
Yeah, I'm a
I'm not gonna
sexist.
pretend I am either.
Granted.
But like everyone else does, most of the people just pretend. Um, but when you're like me, you're not into women's wrestling, you don't care about the women's wrestling. All there is the United States title on Raw, and that's it. And that's being popped around between Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, and Austin Theory, and that isn't an interesting view. That isn't an interesting view at all itself. So
To carry.
there's literally nothing on Raw, and Raw is an extra an hour than what SmackDown is, and you've got to fill that 3 hours with filler. It's just 3 hours of filler
Which you're right, because they
for a
even
year.
put all the Bray Wyatt stuff was all on SmackDown too. Like you'd think they'd kind of balance it out a little bit, but I didn't even think of that. You're right, Raw. Like I didn't watch Raw that much in the past few years, the past year or two. I always watch
Yeah,
SmackDown clips because it's the A show again.
yeah. Raw was just 3 hours of filler that was meaningless for a full year. It
Eh.
wasn't good.
All right, well let's
Apart from
sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, apart from the one time at Raw 30, that was a good Raw. But the rest of it was filler.
Yeah, yeah. All right, well let's because I could just keep talking all day. So I'll let you
Yeah,
go. Again, thank you, sir, for coming
it's
on.
all right. I'm glad to be here. It's made me feel a bit better that I've actually been able to do this and not feel like I've got massive anxiety,
Yeah, yeah.
which is good.
You'll get over it. You'll that's always my thing. Just toughen up. You'll get over it.
Yeah, it'll train me for when I do streams myself, whenever that may be. I don't know when that's going to be. Probably never, but I do want to do them at some point. I just don't know when.
Definitely, definitely. All right, brother. Well, good talking to you.
And you,
Yes, definitely. Be safe.
right?
Yep.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Crossman Wrestling on YouTube. Good guy, good guy. I enjoyed the conversation. All right, well, I'm gonna get out of here because that went on way longer than I thought, but it was a good conversation. Interesting dude. So yeah, go check out his wrestling content. Again, if you're looking for some wrestling content that comes from our perspective, a right wing guy. He may be from the UK, but it's still right wing. We still have the same values. Hearing a guy with our values doing wrestling content, I think that's important. That's why I put him on here. And yeah. All right, well, I'm out of here, guys. Thank you so much for watching along. I know this was a weird time, but he's in the UK, so I had to. It's funny, and I keep bringing up Mr. Research, but this whole thing is like so easy. We told each other our time zones. We figured it out. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. The guy's in the fucking UK, and we figured that out. Jesus Christ. You couldn't figure it out on the goddamn West Coast. All right, well, I'm out of here, guys. Thank you again. We'll be back with the Misfit Nation podcast. We may not be doing a show this week because again, our schedules are all over the place. So if we do one, it'll just be a little pop up. You'll be surprised. I'll actually do a better job at promoting it, so you'll know it's coming a little bit before at least. All right, well, remember, stay strapped. Always argue. Always be confrontational. I guess I said I've been putting disrespectful in there. I guess somewhat disrespect. I think you get what I mean. Don't respect this fucking PC society that we're in. That's what I mean. Don't respect it. And don't accept everything. You don't have to accept everything. You can hear people out. You don't have to accept it though. And remove all the pride from your life because it's a sin. It's a sin. It's the deadliest sin of all. Trump 2024, MAGA. make America great again, and fuck off.
Crishaun the Don. The Don. Crishaun the Don. Crishaun the Don. The Don. D-O-N, right? Crishaun the Don.
I'm really gonna miss our potentiality. Most of all the days we never got to live, they are so real to me. And I will keep on for more time, also from the other side of our memories. When all that's left is memories. When all that's left is memories.
This episode of the Misfit Nation podcast is over.
But that doesn't mean the conversation has to end. So if you're not a socially awkward queer,
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
at the Misfit Nation. Also, help us prepare for our inevitable YouTube ban by following us on alternative platforms.
Like Rumble and Odyssey at the Misfit Nation.
And if you're tired of looking at our ugly mugs,
You can listen to the audio version of the show.
on Apple Podcasts or Podbean. That's misfitnation.podbean.com.
Misfit.